I'm just... Oh, fuck.
You can say whatever you want. I put it all in.
Alright. I was just gonna say that I'm messing around with the RGB on my keyboard, and it's like, whoa.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to RGB Star Trek. No, it's newbie Star Trek. Please.
Brought to you by Razer.
We have to stay on brand. God damn it! We're competing with lots of other Star Trek podcasts. Newbie Star Trek. Hello, welcome. We are the podcast where Ricardo has not watched any episodes of Star Trek.
Yeah, well, every time you say that in an episode, I'm like, but he's seen as many as we've done.
But then I caveat it with, except for the ones we've already seen so far.
We need to find a better way to say that.
Yeah. So
research it.
And then
maybe just say like, this is Ricardo's first time.
Yeah, going through the series. Yeah, that's a better way to put it. This is Ricardo's first time going through the series. He's never seen any other Star Trek episodes before. Dan has seen some of them. I have seen all of them, at least for TNG. So it's just different levels.
So you think?
Yeah, but I forget. Like, for example, today's episode, I forgot this episode.
I mean, I've watched this episode within the last few years, and I forgot it for sure. I had zero memory of this episode. I think it might be because it's an episode where I'm not angry at Wesley, but Wesley is the crux of it. So my mind went, no, that doesn't fit the narrative. So maybe that might have something to do with it.
Remove him from memory. But
I was still annoyed by him, though.
He's much. I mean, he didn't do anything wrong in this episode.
No, he didn't do anything wrong. He was still annoying.
Like, the first episode where he's heavily featured, which was The Naked Now, he's like a complete motherfucker. Like, he is just the worst. In this episode, he does what you would expect a child to do in this situation. So
sure enough,
it's fine. It's
I'll
when
be
the
the
bow
judge
breaks.
of that. I feel like.
When the bow breaks, which is an obvious reference to the nursery rhyme of
Rockabye Baby.
Yeah, when it's just did people used to put babies up in trees?
Yeah. Back in the Western
That's the only way to
days.
keep them safe from bears.
Yeah, and snakes.
But no, snakes can totally climb trees.
No, not these snakes. Not old timey snakes. They got old corn pipes.
Fuck it. Even the snake that tempted Eve it was on a tree.
No, that was a bitch ass fucking snake, dude.
No, man, that was Satan.
Even biblical snakes.
That wasn't a real snake. It was actually Satan.
No, it was that that snake from Anaconda. The snake's out there this big. Dude, I say
climbing trees.
This is my new pitch. My new pitch. You make the Adam and Eve like movie, right? Fucking Ice Cube as Adam.
Oh, I was about to ask, is Mel Gibson producing it or directing it? And then as soon as you said Ice Cube, I said nope. No, he's not.
Could be.
Oh no.
He could play the snake.
Oh no. It's like Jungle Book style.
Yeah.
I forgot. I didn't even that. I guess that was one of the Disney remakes. I didn't even see it. I don't even know it existed.
I haven't seen any of the quote unquote live action Disney remakes.
Oh man,
I haven't seen any of them.
They're bad.
I know.
Beauty and the Beast
I want to
is
watch
awful.
them.
Oh man,
I didn't hate Beauty and the Beast.
Oh man,
but was it necessary?
I was really high at the time, though.
The problem is that, sorry to say it, Emma Watson's a very nice person, but she just cannot act.
Professionally, we're done. Look, you're a nice person, but professionally, we're fucking done.
Oh man, that used to be your catchphrase. Now it's back.
I know.
Oh, dude.
We used to say it at work all the time, Marvin and I.
Yeah.
Look, you're a nice person, dude, but professionally, we're fucking done, dude.
We owe so much of our vernacular to Mr. Bale.
Yeah. Good for you.
Good for you.
By the way, if anyone's here from our TikToks and whatever, welcome.
Yeah.
Thanks
for a bit of a bump. So welcome.
Thanks for jumping on board this ship
Yeah, I hope you enjoy our ship and our shit.
The USS Newbie.
If you're from TikTok, what is a TikTok?
The way I always explain it is it's Vine but faster.
That's but also
what is
longer.
Vine? What is Vine?
Instagram, but only videos.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
guess.
Hey, quick thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you like the sweet taste of Lemon Jack gummies or Pineapple Express gummies, then head over to ease.com. It's easy to use and it relaxes you. In this day and age where you don't want to be at the store picking out your weed, bumping into other people coughing all over you. Fuck it, dude. Have somebody deliver to your house. Ease.com.
Not only is Ease easy to use, it also makes it easy to use.
Yeah.
We are not sponsored by Ease. We just say it out loud.
Yet.
Oh shit, still?
They refuse to sponsor us because we just keep giving them free advertisement.
I'm sorry.
Fuck. God damn it.
God damn it.
I already put a down payment on my no.
During Christmas, they had 12 days of Christmas Ease.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. 12 different
What did it end
strains.
with? What was it? Did it count down from 12 to 11 to 10 and you get that much? Or
it was 12 different strains.
Okay, just strains. Okay.
Yeah. Or like items.
Okay.
Hey, but did they do it like the actual song puts it forward?
The first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me Kiva's Peppermint Bark.
Nice.
Second day, she gave me Foxy's Dynasty.
But here's the thing, though. In the original song, what's actually going on is that it compounds every day. All the previous gifts are repeated the next day.
Well,
so by the end of it all, you should have well over 100 pieces of shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
A bounty.
That's what people don't realize. That's why it's so impressive.
Yeah. Oh boy.
February 15th, 1988 is when The Bow Breaks premiered on network television. Is that Valentine's Day?
Nope. It was one day after.
Oh, okay. I don't know when Valentine's. I'm a terrible partner.
You're the one with the... Never mind.
Dan, could you please enlighten us? What happened on the day after Valentine's Day when this episode premiered?
I found 3 things that kind of caught my fancy. One, just real quick, the movie Action Jackson had released that weekend.
Oh, Action Jackson!
Hell yeah,
oh
dude.
Man, I used to bring that up all the time in college, but no one ever wanted to watch it with me.
I've never even seen it. I've just seen it. I've only heard about it like referenced in jokes, like in other shows and things. But it turns out it's just a mediocre action movie starring Carl Weathers and Craig T. Nelson.
Yeah, I kept trying to get you and Nate. Yeah, I kept trying to get you and Nate to watch it with me. You guys kept going, I
don't remember ever hearing that particular pitch from you. But dude, I'm not going to pretend like I remember everything that ever happened. So I probably turned you down at least once.
Craig T. Nelson, Vanity's in it.
Oh yeah,
Vanity was in it. Yeah,
Bill Sharon Stone,
Bill Duke,
Paula
Robert
Abdul
Davi.
did the choreography. What a movie!
Best part is it was always in Blockbuster, and that's when I was like, "Come on, let's just get it." And then Nate would be like, "I don't want to do this."
I mean, is there any stew making?
No.
Damn.
He's just trying to.
That was probably the crucial question that got us to turn it down every time. Anyway, moving on. I wanted to make Action Jackson a smaller part of it because 2 other things happened, or 2 other things were notable to me. That very day, on February 15th at 18:10 hours Pacific time, the U.S. conducted a nuclear weapons test dubbed Kernville at the Nevada test site, which gave a yield of 60 kilotons, more than double that of the Fat Man bomb. But the crazy thing is that was just one of like a total of 928 tests that were conducted between the 1951 and 1992, and they were just doing it like all that time
in America.
In the middle of Nevada, just there somewhere.
That dust actually affected nearby towns. Yeah, and they didn't know for decades.
Yeah. Like it just made me like remember again. Like Jesus, we were fucking around with nuclear bombs for a long time, like a lot. And that 60 kiloton blast wasn't even like the largest of them. There were plenty more that were worse. Oh. Anyway,
you can see the craters from space.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But then finally, in 5 days from the 15th, on the 20th, Mr. Brian Boitano would win his only gold medal in the men's figure skating during the Winter Olympics in crud. I forgot to look up where it was. Anyway, he beat out his then rival, Canada's Brian Orser, and that was referred to by the press as the Battle of the Bryans. Very catchy.
That is very dramatic and nice.
Yeah.
Before we move on, a couple things. One, the Action Jackson news was better. It was more important that day. Two, actually, John Wayne. So the story goes that he was filming The Conqueror, and it used to be a test site for nuclear bombs, and everyone on the set got cancer.
Well, shit.
Yeah,
and I think it's one of those sets where it used to be like a nuclear test site,
kind of like Stalker. Stalker, they filmed it near the site of not Hiroshima. Where there was the meltdown happened, and then didn't it?
Chernobyl?
Isn't that what happened?
Chernobyl?
Yeah, it wasn't it near Chernobyl?
I don't know
where they shot Stalker. If I remember, it was somewhere. It was definitely irradiated to some extent for some reason, and then sure enough, Tarkovsky got cancer and died.
Well, radiation is rather pertinent.
Oh yeah, it is actually plays directly into this episode when the bow breaks. So. Which presumably we've all seen. So, Ricardo, if you could let us know.
I don't want to give you spoilers until we get to You Ask Me.
Okay, please spoil it for me.
I have not watched the episode. My mom still thinks I'm a virgin.
You have a child, but sure.
Okay, you guys ready? I'm ready, dude. This episode was good.
I like this episode as well. Go ahead. No, I was just gonna say, it's well written, but also, despite Wesley centrism, he's doing what a character like Wesley should be doing, which is just trying to exist in the circumstances within his own means, instead of being like, I can solve everything. So I liked him a lot better in this episode than I
just
normally would.
Dash of Gandhi.
Just 2 days.
Just a tiny little dash of it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. This episode could have been done in like 5 minutes. If they had just said, Wesley, do your thing, dude. Do your thing. Start a fucking genocide on that planet, dude.
Begin terrorism now.
Yeah. If they had just let him, like if they had let him, if they had let Picard just talk to Wesley for like 5 minutes and go, hey.
He just says the code word.
Yeah, he's like, dude, you're off the leash. Do your thing, dude. No,
like Danny the dog unleashed.
Yes,
dude.
Yes.
I was thinking of that already.
Yeah. And then
you're my dog.
Yeah.
You're my. The Radu guy tries to put a collar on Wesley, and he grabs it like in the trailer.
Oh yeah.
Dude.
But then Jet Li's so much cooler than Wesley.
They would have left him there for like a week, and they would have come back, and the whole world's on fire. and him and the kids
Wesley's on a throne.
Yeah. Okay, so the episode starts off, and for some reason, old Riker is happy as hell. I think he's been watching those porno ladies again, or he was in the
he's
holiday.
Just walking down the hallway, like just smiling to himself.
Yeah,
very, very excited,
taking in them harp women.
Yeah. And this kid runs into him. This kid named Harry, and he's like, "Hey, Commander!" And his dad comes over here, and his dad looks like he hits him. I don't know why I'm just getting that vibe. Maybe it's a curly hair, right?
Yeah, he's got that vibe. That
he like grabs him really roughly and goes, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, because at first he's fine, and then like once like Riker like puts his guard down, he's like, "What the fuck are you doing, you son of a bitch? You go back there and start fucking learning calculus, you bitch!" And he like pushes him a little bit.
Yeah,
and even Riker's like, oh, he kind of like does this thing with his eyes, and then he does like a weird hip thing. Like this kid bumping into him like really hurt his fucking leg. Fucking faker. Yeah. I think you're just looking for like, hey, can I just have the day off today? I know it's flexible time off, so
he does. Jonathan Frakes does have a back problem, so I think he might have legitimately had a limp at that time, and they just wrote it in. Maybe I don't know because when before he was an actor, he was a mover.
Mm-hmm.
So he lifted a box wrong, and he had basically permanently damaged his back. So that's why you always see him leaning, or he sits in chairs weirdly, or sits weirdly. It's because he's trying to take the strain off his lower back because he's got back issues.
My dad has a hernia that he has never gotten fixed.
Oh no!
Yeah, and the doctor he keeps going to the doctor. And the doctor's like, "Yeah, it's fine. You can. It's not affecting anything. So you're still.
But
good.
Still,
yeah. But he just put it off. So he uses an excuse to like not help move anything. And one time he's like, "Hey, we got this new fridge. Can you help us bring it in?" I was like, "Sure." And I was doing all the work, of course, and I was bringing it into like the front door, and I had put carpet, like, because we had extra carpet because they had just redone the carpet at my parents' house. So I put the carpet because I'm like, I know you're not supposed to tilt them, but I'm going to tilt them and then just slide it through the carpet, right?
Yeah.
But as I was laying it down, my foot slipped, and the whole fridge fell on me.
Oh my god!
Oh no!
Yeah.
No!
And my dad's first response was just to laugh at me.
Oh no! No!
Yeah. And ever since then, I'm like, fucking movers. They have a bitch ass job. That sucks.
Yeah. Oh, it is such a thankless job.
Yeah.
It is.
They get paid so little.
Yeah.
For how much physical work they need to do.
Yeah. And I had a bruise on my back. Like it looked like someone had taken a 2x4 and just hit me with it on my back.
I'm surprised you didn't like break anything. So that's not insignificant.
For like a few months,
I
thought something was like wrong because like it hurt like I had worked out my back for like a month straight.
Oh man!
And but then it was fine. I didn't go see a doctor, and I was fine.
Did a nuclear explosion happen to go off nearby and it protected you?
Maybe. I was in the fridge. So this guy has a back problems apparently, but anyway, so he goes into the bridge and the captain is like, hey, he's all excited for some reason, and he's telling our Riker tells him about the kid that bumped into him, and Picard tells Riker about this like thing that they're like finding like little like crumbs that are leading to like this thing that they're looking for, and it's this planet. And this planet, what is this planet called?
Aldea.
Aldea.
Albania?
Yeah, Albania.
Okay. Aldania.
And Aldenia has this, it's kind of like this like predator shield. And they kind of follow these.
That's literally what it is.
And finally it reveals itself to them. And like it's like one of those things like they just put on glasses where it starts getting clearer and clearer. And they're like, oh, there it is. And Riker's really happy for some reason. And he's like, oh my god, it's Aldea. We fucking heard about it. This is like, it's kind of like the mythological city of what is it? The Atlantis.
Yeah, he compared it to Atlantis.
Yeah.
So
or
then,
like El Dorado, you could also claim. It's like you were always looking for it. And,
I like tacos Dorados. Anyway, so they find this planet and they're kind of hovering over it, and they're like, well, it's got this shield, so we can't really get into it. It's kind of it like got this like weird shield that reflects light and like it camouflages it, but also it's like protects them. And they're kind of scanning for signals, and they get a signal. And it's this lady, it's a really good looking lady, blue eyes. And she's like, hey, what's up? We're Aldenians, man.
Yeah.
And Picard's like, man, he's really excited about this.
He's like, oh yeah, another fuck planet.
If you want an idea of what this lady looks like, just look up Frivolous Fox on YouTube.
And
very good.
So they're like, hey, we have this thing and we protected our people, but we're ready for you. And they're like, okay, we'll be there in a bit. And this is another thing where this keeps happening where somebody will say, I'll be there in a bit, and they just show up.
Yeah.
It's like no one has the concept of time down. Like they just, I don't know. What does now mean? Yeah. Or what does later mean? We don't know.
Why did you do that?
Just tell
me.
It
is a star date.
Yeah. So they appear and they're really affected by the light, which is weird. They're like vampires.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, it's really bright in here. And then so it's this dude. I don't know what his name is. What is this dude's name? Modoc or
Radu.
So we got Radu and his like, I don't think it's his wife. It's like his lady friend.
Yeah.
And he's
like the youngest person on the planet.
Yeah. And this lady's got to be about like what, like late 20s, 30s.
Yeah, at least. Yeah.
And they're like, hey, what's up? And they're really being affected by the light. And then even the lady calls Riker by his name. They calls him Riker, and he's like, "Well, what? Well, how do you know my name?" And she's like, oh, we kind of just like have been monitoring your signals, so we know everything about you, which is really weird. Already, if I'm the captain, I fucking shoot them. They know too much.
I'm shocked that Worf didn't fire at them immediately, considering how much he's always eager to fight. And we're being invaded.
Yeah, spying without consent has no honor.
And also, they bring something up that's really important, and they kind of gloss over it, which is like these people beam in and out of the fucking ship all the fucking time.
Yeah,
right.
And I get there's no more cold, but there's got to be something that could affect them.
Yeah.
And I hate that. And this episode kind of pointed that out. Like, hey, usually when you come in through like the transporter room, you meet fucking Jason Statham down there. But also
and then he decontaminates you.
He's like, boy, we're gonna kick those fucking gems' asses.
The process of him kicking your ass is a decontamination procedure to make sure.
Yeah. He punches the shit out of the germs and the fucking all the diseases. And so they're like, you guys fucked up. And immediately, if this were like a real life situation, that whole bridge would be in lockdown. Well, now we have to figure out if anybody's been contaminated with anything.
Yeah, we gotta quarantine everyone here now. Yeah, and then have the doctor check it out.
Yeah,
and see what's going on.
No one's fucking leaving for like a year till we figure out who's fucking sick and who's not. In this episode, there's a crew member in the background in the bridge who's wearing a really short skirt.
Oh yeah,
and I'm like, wow, that's really, really short. And then they leave, and they're like, okay, we'll kind of bring a couple of you down to our planet in a bit. We'll see you guys later. And they fucking bone out. And Picard's still excited, and he's like, yeah, that's cool. And everyone's like, I don't know, it feels sketchy. It feels like, what is it, Deanna Troi. Yeah. She's like, there's something sketchy going on here, Captain.
She actually has a perfectly good read for once on what's going on.
What does she say?
Well, she basically goes, they want something and they're worried that you won't give it to them because they think it's too precious for you to give up, which is exactly what happens.
Yeah.
Usually she's so vague that she can't help,
Picard thinks it's sex. He's like, yeah, you're right. I'm not going to give it up.
Riker
easily.
hopes it's sex. Riker's I'm willing to give up the D.
Yeah. He's like, who am I impregnating? This lady that showed up? She's pretty. And then they beam up people into the planet, but they pick randomly or not so randomly. So they bring over Riker, Dr. Crusher, and Deanna Troi. And immediately when I see Riker, I'm like, he's thinking, oh, I hope I don't have to impregnate this older lady.
Because Radu presents her as if it's like, hello, I hope we are giving you the proper greeting with
this is my concubine, you may have her. And so we're back on the bridge, and Wesley's on the bridge. God damn it, fucking Wesley. And he's talking to Data, and he's talking about the cloaking system, and they're bullshitting. And all of a sudden he gets hit with his like beam, like that movie Fire in the Sky. And he's like,
it's hilarious because it's clearly a spotlight. They just put like an extra effect on top.
And he's like, what the hell is that? He's like, well, there's Data's like, they're scanning everybody in the ship, basically. And they get reports from all over the ship that, hey, this is happening all over the ship. They're being probed, as they call it.
Yeah.
And I forgot to mention in the last episode, and this episode has it as well, where there's some interesting shots happening now. I've noticed in these last two episodes that there's like, in the last episode, we had a really interesting, like handheld, really wide angle shot.
As he's coming out of the turbo lift, they had a Picard. There was that shot where it's like, 100%. I think it has to be handheld because it's too shaky for it to have been the Steadicam. And like, that's classic Rob Bowman. Like Rob Bowman to put in non-standard shots that aren't on tripod, on sticks, because he liked to just use it as necessary. This episode, I'm not quite sure why. I think it's just because this is the only episode this director has ever directed. Kim Manners. It's the only thing she ever directed for TNG. She directed lots of X-Files.
Oh, okay.
But she didn't. This is the only thing for TNG she ever directed. So
I didn't notice that stood out in the last two episodes. So I wanted to point that out before because I forgot to mention it in the last episode. But yeah, so there's interesting like camera work going on in this one too. And once they scan everybody with that funny spotlight, he's like, Wesley, are you okay? And he's like, I seem to be fine, Captain. Oh, it was scary at first, but then it felt fine. And I'm like, oh god, don't say that, dude. You pervert.
He's infected with something.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And basically, they head back. We go back down to the planet, and Raul, he's talking to Riker about like all the things that are happening in the planet. You know, they seem to be ahead of like Starfleet when it comes to technology. Like they could kind of beam anywhere they want, but like faster and quicker, and like and like it seems like they don't need like someone controlling the transporter room. They don't need Jason Statham. They literally have just controls
use
on them.
these weird little jewels on their arms to do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah. And they kind of start talking about how like basically there's no children in this planet. It's like a children of men type situation. Nobody's been able to have kids for a while. And then Deanna Troi kind of like figures out like, oh, that's probably what they want, because you could she could tell in her face that she's kind of getting ahead of this. And then Raul's like, yeah, Raula here, she's like the last child born on this planet, you know. And I don't know if she's his daughter or anything. It's sketchy. It's sketchy that the relationship is very sketchy. I don't understand.
Well, they kind of imply that they don't have any family units at all on the planet, because they go, this is your group or whatever.
This is unit. I think they call them units.
Unit, yeah.
It reminded me of The Giver a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, where you're kind of assigned to things.
Yeah, versus just assigned to family. You're like, their kids are not their parents' kids,
but they don't even go as far as to like claim that they're like the closest familial thing that happening is really
with Harry.
The lady. Yeah, when the lady gets Harry, and then no, Harry is the older kid, but when the lady is like, is her name Alexandria, the little girl that she picks up?
You mean the ginger that betrays her kind?
Yeah. Yeah, she immediately tries to break the fast.
I think they're trying to paint her as like she's the lovable, cute one who will be open and hug anybody.
No, but Wesley, we're getting a little ahead of ourselves, but Wesley gives her a look like when she's about to eat the food. She's like, I will fucking end you if you touch this food, okay? Because
I'm the pale man today.
Yeah. We all do it, or none of us. And if you're the outlier, you're gone. We're getting rid of you.
Anyway, like I brought up Harry because he also he develops a good rapport with like his unit. Like
he has the one fully positive experience.
Don't get ahead of yourself, dude. We're gonna talk about Harry, dude. We're gonna talk about Harry, dude.
All right.
And his magic wand.
Yeah, and his magic fucking wand, exactly.
His desire to never mind. We'll get there.
To whittle
desire
fucking
for wood.
Yeah, when the bow breaks.
Yeah.
So you basically have Raul, and he confesses to Riker, like, hey, we need fucking kids in this planet, motherfucker. Like, can we get some kids? In my head, and right away, I'm thinking, like, dude, put Raul and like his concubines in the holodeck. Let them, imagine up whatever they want, and they have kids. They could take them out of there,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The holodeck, that's the problem with the holodeck. It simultaneously causes all of the problems, but it also solves all the problems.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure that would actually solve the issue like on its own, because they're an infertile people, right? Like they're not able to produce.
But we don't know that. We don't know that.
Just get hologram babies, man.
Yeah.
It's not like, that they're like not wanting to get it on, although they do seem fairly sexless right now, but.
Yeah. Well, they're like, well, what's the point if we're not?
It's not like they're pandas or nothing.
We're not yielding disease, and we're not yielding any profit off of the sex.
They're also all weak and infirm. Like they're all make-upped like gray.
Yeah.
And like there's a like an aside shot where one of the ladies with I guess assumes her husband is like going like, oh, did you put the salve on to get rid of the rash? He's like, yeah, the salve's working.
The lesions are gone.
The lesions are gone.
Yeah.
This is like the second episode in a row.
The legions of lesions are gone.
Yeah, there you go. Saved it.
Yeah.
This is the second episode in a row where we've seen like these old people.
Yeah.
Like just
fucking
being
everything up.
Freaking stubborn and just fucking shit up because they're just too old and too set in their ways to do anything about it.
That's literally it. Both of these are stupid boomer episodes. Fucking boomers just won't listen.
And so
listen, old man.
How many times do you have to teach this lesson, old man?
Fucking Beverly Crusher basically yells at him, "Listen, you fucking old man."
This is what happens when you fuck a stranger in the ass. And so you have they straight up ask Raul, like straight up's like, "Hey, we need some fucking kids here, dude," and which is a weird thing to ask people. Yeah. And then Deanna Troi is like, "Hey, the humans, they like are attached to their offspring, man." And they're like, "Oh fuck!" And then this dude Raul he gives Raul a signal, and then she beams him out of there. Boom. They're out of there, and then they get back to the bridge. The away crew gets back to the bridge, and immediately Wesley's gone. Yeah, and immediately I'm fucking happy. I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. The Enterprise is a safe place for everybody, dude. We just wiped out fucking Future Hitler.
Threat level has lowered dramatically on the Enterprise.
Yeah, this is the episode where they go back and they kill Future Hitler, and this is it. We're watching. And Picard's like, what the fuck? And then all the kids, it's surprising that only like there's random kids that go. This is really sketchy. There's a scene where they're like in class, right? Mm-hmm. And you see certain kids get zapped.
Yeah.
There is, I don't remember this, but I'll have to check it right now to see who goes to the future.
Oh yeah, but, I'm scrubbing through as well.
I'm looking now. Oh, as I suspected, dude. Only fucking white kids, dude.
I know. They only want the white children.
There's a little black girl and an Asian boy. They don't get taken, dude. These
but if they were taken, they would have had to have speaking roles.
Like, we only give speaking roles to the white kids.
Now that's the truth.
That probably was the truth. And so they're reporting to the bridge like, hey, all over the saucer, they're saying kids are fucking disappearing. But not all the kids, only the white kids is what they should have said. And then that's why they get all in the frenzy. They're like, oh, the fucking white kids, what the fuck? So they get taken to this planet, and Raul's like, hey, it's fine, don't worry. Your children are with us. They are perfectly safe. They're gonna live a beautiful life. They're gonna have everything they want. And, and Picard's like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Compensation. Like, and then he's like, we're going to give you compensation. Don't worry. We'll give you like a dowry or something. And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? You just stole our kids, you fuck.
It's like the angriest you've seen Picard in the show so far. Yeah. I pulled the clip because it's really interesting to see how angry he gets.
Yeah.
Captain, your children are with us. My word of honor, no harm will ever come to them.
Harm has already come to them.
Captain, let us begin discussions regarding appropriate compensation.
Compensation? You have stolen our children away from their classrooms, away from their bedrooms, and you talk about compensation. You claim to be a civilized world, and yet you've just committed an act of utter barbarity.
Dang, he's angry. He should have also just been like, then give the compensation is our children. Give it back.
Go look, give them all back, but Wesley you can have. He's going to do great things in your planet. One thing
it's interesting that they stole Wesley too, because they said they stole all the other kids because they have like hidden talents.
Wait, what Wesley does? He's Mozart, dude. Mozart supposed to be in the whale.
But they don't like give him to like a Mozart family or something.
They give him to the what the hell they call it? The conductor, the master control program.
Oh, the custodian.
Yeah. Oh, the janitor.
Yeah.
Yeah, the janitor gets him. Because Wesley's a piece of shit.
I just want to say this real quick. This is like a sequel to Mars Needs Moms, but it's Aldea Needs Kids.
It's just as good.
Yeah.
It's just as good as Mars Needs Moms.
So
I'm willing to believe it.
So all the kids are in Alderaan, and they're like, hey, the kids are like, hey, Wesley, we're fucking scared. What's going on? And he's like, hey, come down, dude. Chill out. And then Raul shows up and he's like, hey, don't be scared. And they're like, we want to go home. And they're like, no, chill out, dude. We're fine. And this little girl right away sells out her fucking human parents.
I know. She goes, I like it here. Yeah. Just starts hugging.
Yeah. And then they have on the Enterprise, they have all the parents that have lost the kids. Mm-hmm. Oh, before we move on, Raul tells the kids, "Hey, you guys have all been chosen because you guys are special." And now that I'm watching it, now that I'm like reviewing it, I'm thinking, yeah, they're all white. You took the white kids, you fucking bitch.
Well, the planet's Raul. All white children. And they're like, we can't intermarry or interbreed. That's fucked up. We can't do that.
Yeah. They're fucking racist Aldrons.
We have to stay pure and gray.
And the 80s, damn it.
And then so then you have you have all the parents, and one of the moms, she's like, "Oh my god, fuck, I'm so worried for my kid." And then Crusher's like, "Calm your fucking emotions, sit the fuck down, dude."
Yeah.
And it's so like
Crush. You know why? Because Crusher had the benefit of experiencing this before, so she's like, listen, I've been through this before.
Yes,
where your child is kidnapped.
She's so used to Wesley being in danger.
It's fine. You get used to it, and eventually they'll be back, and you're like, I kind of miss when they were gone.
Yeah, but Dr. Crusher is a Debbie mom. We've proven this over and over, so she doesn't give a shit.
Right?
She's like, yeah, I want to know more about these.
It's more the principle of the matter for her than it is the actual act of him.
I want to know more about these Alderbanians, but I don't want to. I don't want my kid back. So we're back in the planet, and they're distributing all the children, and the ginger baby. Oh my god, I'm already insulting gingers. I apologize. The redheaded little girl. We're gonna get emails about that.
Wait, is ginger derogatory on its own?
It's fine.
Serious question, real quick.
Ginger's fine. Ginger's fine.
Well, you can say ginger, but you can't say Jinjo.
Actually, you can say Jinjo. That's a Banjo-Kazooie character, Jinjos.
Yeah, but he's racist,
I mentioned this to you.
They're actually part of Banjo's
These are words that sound racist, but are actually like just a word. Like Jinjo sounds really bad. It hits the ear wrong.
You know what sounds like a really like a racist term? Dongle. You fucking dongle.
Yeah, these are words that hit the ear wrong, and you go, something's wrong. I don't know if we should say that.
Get the fuck out of here, you dongle. Come back when you learn some manners.
Back to the Future 2 had some of the best slang ever with low res Bojo.
Yeah, see Bojos. That also is like, ooh.
And actually, low res was only in the novelization. It wasn't in the movie.
Yeah, it's like, that's
but
weird.
Calling someone low res as a way to insult their intelligence is hilarious to me.
That is a good insult. That is
fucking 480p. Yeah. 480i, you're interlaced. You're not even progressive.
720. I'm still making fun of you. All right, so you have these low res people that kidnap these kids. and he's like, look, it's fine. In time you'll accept it and you'll love us. We're gonna put these people with good units.
Yep.
He's like, you're gonna learn how to play some music. You're gonna learn how to fucking old Harry here. He's gonna learn how to fucking whittle wood. He's fucking future Jesus.
He doesn't even have to whittle it. It just does a laser do it for him.
He's a lazy artist. And the redheaded girl, she's in love with Raula, or whatever her name is.
Rashella, I think. Rashella.
Radula or something like that.
Radula Blangata.
Yeah. And so she's playing with the little redheaded girl, and then old Raul's like, oh well, you have to give her to her family, and she's like, nope. I'm never going to give her up. So you have infighting.
It's funny. They make a huge thing out of it. It's like, oh no, this is going to be a plot point.
Yep. Never talk about it again.
Like, I've only been with this redheaded girl for 2 minutes, but if anything happens to her, I'm going to kill everyone and then myself.
Yeah. And then back on the bridge, they're trying to figure out how to get into the planet. They can't figure out. And then Data's like, hey, this is impossible, dude. And then the captain's like, everything's impossible until you fucking do it.
That's a great line, actually. Do you have that clip?
Oh no, I was thinking about pulling it, but it's so short.
But he says it so angrily. It's great.
You basically. Well, the best part, the problem is that the best part about it is Data's look, where he's like, "That's not how that works."
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but he also says immediately, "Yes, sir."
Yeah, but he's looking around going, sure.
and then the old lady on the planet takes Wesley to this computer room, and she's like, hey, this is the janitor and the custodian. And he's going to, you just present yourself to him. And then he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like, just tell him who you are, man. And he's like, hey, custodian, I'm Wesley Crusher. And then he's like, Wesley Crusher, you have level 3 access. And then Wesley's like, well, what's level 3 access? And you basically find out that like he's got access to the mainframe of the computer, right?
Full access, basically.
Access. And at this point, they tease this so much, they make a big point out of this that I think, oh my God, Wesley's got a whole fucking planet now. He's got a whole planet to fucking really.
He has the Death Star at his disposal.
Yeah.
He can do whatever he wants.
He's like, I will destroy countries, worlds, planets, galaxies. I am now unstoppable. And she's like, and then he starts asking questions like, hey, what the fuck is a custodian? And we're like, hey, they're like, he's just something that kind of tells us what to do and stuff. And we don't really. She breaks it down, and they basically don't learn or anything. They just take orders from this piece of shit fucking old computer.
They have no records of who made him, why they made him, how to fix him if he gets broke. They're just like, it'll never break.
Yeah. Don't worry,
man. Props to the engineers though. They designed a very stable system.
Yeah. Never needs to be
One
rebooted.
would say they build a perfect religion.
Because
of people who would never ask questions, and you have dumb people on this planet that just follow this religion without asking any goddamn questions. Like, hey, who the fuck wrote this? Why the fuck would somebody write this? This seems very stupid. Why are we doing this? Well, because they told us to. You fucking idiots.
Well, it also like gives them food, I guess. It's like, that must mean it's real.
Jesus provides his food. I mean, the custodian
made fish out of nothing.
Yeah. God damn it, dude. And then
okay, just as a weird aside, when I was a kid, my grandpa's a pastor, so I went to church a lot.
Al Pastor?
And
Compina?
Very good. And then when I was in church, they would, you're a kid, you go to the kid section of Sunday school or whatever, right? And they were talking about, that's one of the stories I remember where it's like, oh, he separated fish and bread into millions, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, everyone's like, wow. But then in my back of my mind, I always pictured like Jesus's like
just cutting up into tiny minuscule cubes.
No, they just like in the back, and in the back room, and they're going like, oh, we'll split this up, and they walk into the back room, and there's all this food already prepared. And they just come out with more and going, oh, these have been split up too. Wow. How could that be happening?
That's basically the Family Guy gag.
Yeah. And then Wesley's asking her questions. He's like, well, how old is this thing? Where does it get its power source? What the fuck is behind that fucking room?
Yeah.
And the lady's like, Wesley, don't ask too many questions.
Even though we gave you access that is all about asking questions.
Yeah, like the more you think about it, the less sense it makes. It's like, well, what was the point of bringing Wesley on if you're going to give?
They probably immediately regretted bringing in Wesley.
Yeah, they regretted it right away.
They probably are like, shit, we brought him in because he's technically the smartest one, but now he's asking too many fucking questions.
Yeah. We brought in David Koresh.
Oh man!
And Wesley is the David Koresh of fucking this world, dude. And so you have Wesley asking questions of the custodian, like, "Hey, where is Andrea or whatever the fuck her name is?" And she's building weird shapes, like she's coding or something. I don't know what the fuck she's doing.
Coding.
She's basically like these math blaster shapes come out of this hologram, and she's enthralled.
And he looks at Harry, and Harry's fucking whittling wood, and he's like, this fucking.
Well, she's just creating an early CG tech demo.
Yeah.
Old ATI demo
textures.
And old Harry's like whittling wood. He's an artist. He's a goddamn
laser.
Yeah, whittling.
Yeah. And then old Raul comes back on the fucking comm, and he's like, "Hey, so we got to talk about these things because you talked about earlier about negotiations, about the terms, and basically you took Dr. Crusher's son, and she's what does he say? She's some sort of like thing, and there's a regulation that requires at least one
lies.
Officer. Yeah,
he basically lies. Oh, regulation says I need to bring an officer with all negotiations, and she's the officer. So.
Yeah,
And Data goes, "Oh, I didn't know about that regulation, sir." And he goes, "Neither did I."
Neither did I.
And Data goes, "Oh, very good, sir."
It says, "Oh, I see." Oh, I see.
Yeah. And so he brings the doctor, and it's Dr. Crusher and old Jean-Luc Picard.
Right before one of the kids they also showed was the girl that plays music. Mm-hmm. That's the funniest scene because it's like this weird instrument where by holding it and imagining it, the music comes out. Right?
Yeah, it's a holophoner.
Yeah, it's a holophoner, but less interesting.
But what's funny is, I will give props to them for trying to give her a better life than just becoming another softcore harp girl.
Yeah, yeah, she has to.
That's the path she was headed down. We saw her with the harp, true. And we saw how it comically just yeeted over on it to its side as soon as she disappeared.
But she has the holophoner, and then she plays a sad song, and the guy teaching her music says, "That was beautiful. Now play something happy." And she goes, "But I don't feel happy."
And then the old guy is like, "Oh shit."
He's like, "Maybe are we the baddies?" You know?
So I forgot this part. The girl with the instrument, she gets taken by the fucking old man from Up.
Yeah. I mean, he does sound a bit like Ed Asner.
Yeah.
Oh, and she just starts playing the Up theme on the
on the recorder.
It's like dun, 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 dun.
I hate that movie.
You can't just drop a bomb like that.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. Send your flame to @GossipGirl or whatever the hell.
If you listen to the Fugitive Frames film podcast, Ricardo actually fully explains his hate for Pixar movies.
Somewhere,
yeah. Go back in the archive. Yeah. So then you're back with Raul, and Raul's like, "Hey, don't worry, these kids are gonna be fine." And they're like, "Yeah, but there are kids. We don't want to negotiate, you motherfucker." And he's like, "Yeah, but they're gonna be free and do whatever they want." And I feel like Beverly Crusher deep down, she's like, "Well."
she can see the positives of both sides. She's like,
I can start anew, you know?
Yeah. I messed up with Wesley. Yeah. You know, I'm not sure it's Picard's, so maybe we can try for sure. You know, we can.
Or Riker. But Riker likes those fucking harp ladies, so I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Wesley tried to hook me up with Riker in the first episode. So
I mean, and then Dr. Crusher's like, "Can I see my son?" And they're like, "Sure, why not?" You could see it for one last time. Yeah. And then she slips him this little probe thing, right?
It's like the medical scanning device that she always uses. And it's like they do this comical scanning around the person.
Yeah.
It's almost like a vaudeville act.
His hand is clearly right above her head where it should be in her peripheral vision.
I know.
And she should be like, "What are you doing?" She doesn't move at all.
What is this wizardry you're doing, dude? I don't like it.
Why are you scanning my brain?
And so he scans him, and then the doctor and Picard go back to the Earth, and they're gonna talk about the they're like basically it looks like they're not gonna go negotiate anymore because Picard didn't take anything in return for the kids.
Yeah,
and
they don't want anything.
Raul gets pissed, and he's like, "All right, I'm gonna show you the demonstration of our power." And and then Raul beams him with something, and they get blasted 3 days. 3 days worth of flying, right?
Mm-hmm. At max speed. Warp 9 is basically as fast as the ship can go.
Yeah. And they get blasted 3 days into the past. It feels like the past, but it's really distance. Mm-hmm. And so they have to go warp 9. 3 fucking days to get back to that planet. Mm-hmm. So he's like, "Hey, if you come back, I'm going to push you even farther. So far that when you come back to this planet, your kids will be grandkids. Your kids will be grandparents. Sorry."
Yeah.
And so they're like, fuck. And he's like, "Hey, Geordi, fucking warp it, dude. Warp it all the way to fucking 9, dude. I know this thing goes up to 11, but let's just go to 9." And they start blasting their way back to the planet. Mm-hmm. And then you have the little blonde girl who's hanging out with that old man from Up, and she drops the goddamn instrument, and she's like, "Oh my god, did I break it?"
Oh yeah, that's when this happens. Yeah. And then that's when they're
And then fucking Harry is like fucking loving his new parents. He's like, oh fuck, I whittle wood and shit, dude.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't have to do calculus. And the old man's like, well, what is calculus? And Harry's like, don't worry about it.
It's fucking stupid.
Don't fucking worry about it, stupid.
That's also proof that this is a planet of idiots.
Yeah.
And they're like, what's calculus?
Yeah. What's calculus?
How do we get through to these kids?
Yeah. 9 times 9. 9 times 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All I'm thinking of is fucking Stand and Deliver.
Oh man.
Hey, Kimo, what's calculus?
Oh no.
And then so Beverly Crusher is like, hey, she goes to the bridge and she's like, hey, there's something going on. These people have like some sort of disease. I think it's genetic. I don't know. I'm gonna keep working on it. And then she's like, I know, I got to do it faster. I get it, you fucking bitch ass Picard.
Don't even tell me.
Yeah. And then Picard does a baller move, dude. As she's leaving, she's like, hey, good job. And she turns around and gives him a look like, man, if my kid was in trouble, I'd fucking bang you out right here in this.
Yeah,
fucking...
you can sense her blushing.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we go back to the planet, the Alderaan. And you have Harry, and Harry's fucking sculpted this beautiful fucking dolphin. And they're like, what is that? And he's like, it's a fucking dolphin. Have you guys not seen fucking dolphins? And
or
he's
fish.
Like, yeah, or fish. And they're like, oh yeah, I remember fish. We used to have oceans. And then you start realizing, there's something sketchy going on here.
This planet's fucked.
Yeah,
This
these people
sucks.
are pale as fuck, dude. They never seen a dolphin. How they fucking surf? I gotta get my surf on.
That's the scene where she had to put on that salve.
Yeah.
To get rid of her Legion of Legions.
Legion of Legions, yeah. The Legionnaire.
Legionnaires.
Yeah. And then you go back to Raula and she's cradling the little redhead girl. And
that is also hilarious.
And the little redhead's like, oh, mommy. And he's like,
and she's trying to get up to leave, and she grabs her and goes, no, it reminds me of what I do to my cat. Like, the cat's trying to leave my lap. Yeah. It's like, no, you stay.
No. I must get my cuddles.
That's mean, Marvin. You shouldn't do that.
You're forcing it. You don't have the consent. God damn it. And then you have old Wesley, who's like, something's awry, and I wish the captain or his mom would have been like, hey, you do you down here, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Which he kind of does, he's like, oh fuck, I'm gonna start fucking shit up.
But it's a mislead because he's like, they're at the dinner and they're eating like fish and chips or something. I'm not sure what they're eating. It
seems like they're just eating lemons.
They're eating like green grapefruit.
I don't know what the fuck they're eating.
Kiwis
it's like
with the skin on?
Kiwis with the fried outside or something, or I don't know what's going on. But then like he goes, we will not cooperate. And it cuts to him walking.
I think it's Skin Thursday in this fucking planet. And they're eating the kiwis with the skin on.
No one knows Skin Thursday.
I don't know Skin Thursday.
Skin Thursday is a thing we used to have at work. You just eat something with the skin on it. Sometimes you eat a banana with a skin on it. A kiwi, whatever has a skin on it.
Oh man, kiwi is bad for that.
Yeah, it's really bad.
I mean, you're lucky if you have some kumquats around.
We did discover that it is actually a legitimate way to eat the kiwi is with the skin, and it's actually really, really healthy for you.
Yeah,
to eat the skin.
Like I eat the little fibers and everything.
Kiwis. Yeah,
it's apparently like most of the nutrients are actually in that skin.
Yeah.
And it's actually quite good for you.
Skin on, my friend.
I mean, how's your throat after that?
It's fine, dude. Just drink some water, dude. Or baby oil.
Drink some baby oil. It's gonna be fine.
Just lube your throat and like Homer with the wax in his mouth and just dunk it in.
Yeah, you have to pre-lube it with gravy, and then you shove the kiwi down whole.
Candle wax. Yeah.
And then so you have stupid fucking Wesley, and he gets up in the middle of the night, and you know he's up to no good, dude.
It's such a swerve because he goes to the computer.
Yeah,
and you think, oh, he can do anything here.
That part frustrates me. I'm like, you have a whole damn janitor ready to do your whatever the hell you want, and then you're like, bidding. Just tell me where the other kids are, and I'm gonna go startle them awake.
The only thing I could think of that counters that is that the level 3 clearance only allowed him to be asking questions, not to give orders. So
okay, that
yes,
might be fair.
that's
no.
But even then, like he should have like, isn't he supposed to be a genius? Shouldn't he have figured out some way to hack?
Like he could have done some recon at least. Like, hey, how do you work? What happened to this planet? Why is everything so fucked?
What a great opportunity for backstory.
Exactly.
Right?
That's what I wanted.
But instead he goes, where are the kids that I already know where they are?
he does have command because he says, beam me up to Jenner, and it beams him up.
Oh, is that how it happened?
Yeah,
I don't
know if the janitor's necessary for that though. It might just be how they get around in that society.
The world in general works.
It might just be how the tech works on the planet, maybe.
I don't think so.
But you would think with that transportation tag, you could do all sorts of fucking shit.
Probably.
Like if you can do it that easily, you could probably.
What if he just said the Enterprise? Vroom.
Transport us to the Enterprise.
Yeah. What if he just said like, take me to Raul's room.
Transport a knife into my hand.
Yeah, I'm gonna kill everybody at night. You get a really kill everybody.
Yeah, but instead he just wakes everyone up to say, "Okay, we're not gonna eat."
Yeah, we're going on a hunger strike, folks.
Yeah,
and we're all gonna do it only while sitting at this table.
Yeah, because that's how hunger strikes work. You have to all sit at the table,
ready to eat, but don't.
What did he say? What if he said, "Transport the transporter here," and then Jason Statham shut up? I mean, he just kicked everybody's ass, dude.
Just point me in the right direction.
The fuck are you doing with all these kids?
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on here?
Yeah. He appears and he's all lubed up in motor oil, and he just starts.
Why so many of my plots involve kidnapped human trafficking? Yeah. You know, because this is human trafficking.
Yeah, this is definitely human trafficking.
Yeah. And so Wesley gets all the kids, and he's like, "Hey, passive. Have you guys ever heard of passive resistance?" And they're like, "No." He's like, "I know a lot of things, dude. A lot of things to fuck up. Many a small country have been fucked up because of me. Have you ever heard of Venezuela?"
You haven't? I'm the reason why you haven't heard of it.
Like, you haven't heard of Venezuela? Exactly.
Just like fucked it up, dude. So the kids are like, "What are we doing?" And he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna just not eat. That's the plan." And like Harry's like, "This is a horrible plan." He's looking at Wesley like, "Look, I gotta eat, man. I gotta eat some food, dude." And all the kids are like, "This is a horrible plan. We're not gonna fucking eat. They're gonna get mad at us, dude." And he's like, "No,
they're not gonna hurt us though."
Cool. Yeah.
But I can easily imagine a scenario where it gets dire and they just go, "Okay, we're just going to transport food into your stomach."
Yeah.
They probably
There's nothing you can do about that. Yeah.
Well, Harry also like comes out with like, "Well, but I like my chosen people," or whatever the hell.
Yeah, I like working with the wood. I like working with the wood.
Yeah. And the little redheaded kid almost eats food. Some of that.
The fact that this kid is like, my dad's cool, but I prefer wood.
Yeah. You know? I don't want to do calculus. I just want to work with wood.
Now, am I crazy in thinking like this is almost like a closet situation? Where it's
what do
like
you mean?
The dad, the abusive father, it's like, "No, you're gonna do what I say." It's like, "Nah, man, I'd rather play around with wood."
I get it. I thought more like a Varsity Blues type of thing, where he's like, "I don't want your life."
Very good. Very, very good. I felt the moment. I hadn't remembered Varsity Blues, but then the moment you said that quote,
it actually flooded back to me.
It flooded back into my mind's eye.
Nice work.
I felt the emotions.
So it's Skin Thursday again in this planet, and they're like, the lady brings like the kids fucking cooked kiwis again.
It's been 3 days and Wesley's wearing the same clothes.
I mean, they're all wearing the same clothes though.
Yeah. He's like, not one, we're in a hunger strike.
They're not being taken care of. The clothes on their back that they came in are the same clothes.
Yeah, they didn't even give them new clothes to wear.
Yeah, to match to what like the planet wears. And then so the crew in the Enterprise is like, "Hey, we got to figure out a fucking hole to get in, you know, if you know what I mean."
Yeah. Well, that's a cool part of the plot in that they clearly set up the stakes and then they created like, here's our way forward. Picard has to run diversion and we have two possible ways in. Either we break through the shield by figuring it out, or we go through this plot hole or whatever that's in the shield and we're going to figure out our way in.
Yeah, very much a plot hole.
and did I say plot hole?
You did. Yeah. You did. The fact that it was unintentional makes it even better.
So they're like, look, they're like, could we suck out the kids through the hole? And they're like, no, it's too dangerous.
I'm glad they like lampshaded that. They're like, why don't we just teleport them this way?
Yeah, true.
Which seems like way more dangerous to teleport twice as opposed to just once.
Well, I think their plan is they're gonna go once to get rid of the shield.
Yeah, neutralize it, and then they can teleport however they please.
Oh, yeah.
Or transport, sorry.
Yeah. We're gonna have to neutralize these motherfuckers.
He's like, and at no point where they like go to the transporter room and get the transporter.
I think my only issue with that is that they had to go over this plan like twice because they were starting to talk about it already once before they were like blasted away, and then they have to like go over the plans again now that they're close again.
Yeah,
and then but then they handily explain away once like, well, it's complicated. It's gonna take a few weeks. Oh fuck.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah, that plan won't work. Let's get rid of it.
Yeah, there's the only one left.
Yeah. And so they're like, okay. And then Picard and the Doctor head back down there for more negotiations. And Data and Riker they get teleported into the hole, and they're in the janitor's room. And they're trying to, poke a hole in the bigger hole.
It's in the janitor's closet.
Yeah. Boy, did they guess well where the hell to go.
Yeah. It was just down one hallway, and he turned to the right, and they're like, there it is.
Like, look at the size of that planet, man.
Yep.
That's always the thing about, like, Star Trek or even, like, Star Wars, any type of sci-fi. Yeah. The whole planet is just
one set.
Thing.
The whole planet is like, one set and one establishing shot.
Yeah, it's like this is the greenery planet, or this is the ice planet.
Oh, speaking of set design, though, I do want to point out it's foreshadowing, I guess, to like look out any window and notice how all the light is violet.
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, there it is. It's happening.
Yeah. So you quickly find out that these people have like a hole in the ozone layer that's being created by this like radiation that's coming out of this machine. I don't know. It's a lot of mumbo jumbo that doesn't fucking matter.
They sprayed a lot they sprayed into the air.
Yeah. A lot of cow farts.
I was about to say cow.
Yeah. And so what's weird is that like they tell these people like, hey, yeah, you guys have a problem, like I know you guys trust this whole fucking janitor guy to do all your bidding, but dude, you guys have a problem. You guys have a hole in the ozone layer. And Roll's like, fucking fake news. These people with their fake news.
Yeah, I pulled this up because there's a thing in here that I found really interesting. So I'm gonna just bring, because he's so angry.
Yeah. Scientists, what do they know?
So like, what is this? They want to go home.
No, just staying.
Number one.
We're in position.
Hold for orders.
The radiation levels on Aldea have been building up over a long period of time. It is similar to what was experienced on Earth in the 21st century, when the ozone layer had deteriorated and the surface of the planet was flooded with ultraviolet radiation.
The shield that protected your world in one way is weakening it in another. It is the radiation of your own sun that is destroying you.
You are trying to confuse the issue.
Please, listen. You are all suffering from radiation poisoning. Sterility is only the latest
fucking
symptom.
Old man. Just
if the children remain, they will
like,
be affected as well.
It's impossible. Our scientists would have known.
How could they? Your scientists have forgotten how everything works.
No. All lies.
No. Wait. Don't send them
all
back
lies.
yet.
Fake news.
What if they're right? Instead of the children being our hope, what if we're just condemning them to our fate?
Marcella, they're just protecting their own interests.
As are we.
This all feels way too real.
Yeah. He basically says like, look, if the computer didn't tell me it, aka Breitbart or fucking Facebook, then it's not fucking true.
Now the only thing we're missing is a journalist coming up to him and says, Radu, do you believe in ultraviolet light?
Yeah.
Literally the part where he said all lies, my mind immediately triggered all lives matter.
Yeah.
I thought that's what he was gonna yell out before he summoned the custodian.
Yes, but all lives matter. So you have this fucking idiot, this fucking Trumpster, and he's like, oh, nothing's happening in the planet. The planet's fine. Yeah, but you guys can't have kids. You become infertile. Nah, that's fucking
the fact that they're dying from such a basic issue, like it's a really basic issue.
MAGA still applies here. Make Aldea great again.
Yeah, exactly. And so they're like, we're gonna take you. We're gonna take these kids. Get the fuck out of here and fuck you guys. and there's nothing you can do about it. And basically, they let them go.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's fine. And then old fucking Harry's like, wait, before we go, fake dad, I love you. Basically.
You were way more supportive than my real dad.
Yeah.
That's true in one way. It's also like I loved working with wood with you.
Yeah.
You supported my sissy hobby.
Yeah. Harry was devastated to have to leave. Devastated. You look at the scene before they get beamed up to the Enterprise, and Harry is like looking at the ground, and he's like, I don't need to live anymore.
Nice acting, kid.
Yeah.
I can't go back to calculus.
If I have to do one more fucking calculus, I'm gonna.
But they lampshade that. But when he goes back, he's talking to his dad. He goes like, "Okay, Dad, I'll do calculus if you let me live my life."
Yeah.
And so they take the kids, and then Raoul's like, "You've killed us. You've destroyed us.
You've ended us.
You fucking asshole." And he's like, "Calm down, dude. We're gonna be fine. We're gonna put up one of those slap what is it? Slap band-aids that stops like water leaks."
Oh, you're talking about Flex Seal.
Oh yeah.
What is it called? What is it called?
Flex Seal.
Or Flex Tape. Seal. Bam. Flex Tape on the fucking ozone.
Shout out to Phil Swift.
Fix this. Phil Swifty. Oh yeah, let's get Swifty. And
I'm gonna saw this custodian in half.
And so they finally break into the Marvin lost it.
Shut up, you love it.
That's why I can't stop.
I'm not laughing, you are.
And so they slap shot the shit out of this ozone layer. And they go into the radiation room, as I call it, where all the radiation's coming from.
No protection.
Yeah.
They just go straight to the power
source. Is this just me, or is this like, does this look like Star Wars as fuck?
Yeah.
It looks like in the Death Star, where they're like the power cores.
Like the Emperor and Luke are fighting like over in the corner somewhere.
Yeah, like a floor up in the corner. And they're fighting there. And
I feel like someone in this planet should have said, "Huh, this whole big ass room is in this tiny little door.
Oh, so much space in here. Why did we never go in this room?
It's like a fucking TARDIS.
No one was stopping us. Like we could have just gone in if we wanted.
Chose not
to. Because Wesley just asked, "What's in that room?" And she says, "I don't know."
Yeah.
And his next question shouldn't be, "Why don't you find out?"
Why don't we open that bad boy and go in there?
And the reason it's not in the show is because there's no reason to not just walk in and find out what's in there.
Yeah, and then the captain's like, "Hey, do you want us to fucking show you some shit?" And he's like, "Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to learn shit all over again."
Yeah,
I thought we were done thinking. I thought Breitbart and Facebook were gonna tell us everything to do. Well, now I gotta think.
Cue the end credits to WALL-E.
Yeah.
And it's like they were like, "Oh, our scientists. What scientists?
Yeah.
Like you were all a bunch of hippies just carving wood and playing music on a thing that automatically plays music."
They were like weird. They were like weird hippie Trump supporters.
Yeah, it's weird because like they touted their technological like capabilities, and their superiority, but like they didn't know how anything works, and that feels pretty prescient to today. We wield a lot of tech that we don't know shit about.
That's true. I mean, like even the people who built the thing, like I always bring this example up, like the people who helped build like YouTube algorithms and stuff, they legitimately don't understand how it works because at this point it's being coded by other robots.
Yeah.
Who are doing it like instantly. Like they have no idea. Like it's like how we don't know how the brain exactly works. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
If you interconnect enough networks, you just lose track of it.
Yeah. That's literally what's going on. There's so many neural network connections being made so quickly, so fast that they don't quite know how it works.
And then we missed two big things that we missed, and then we have to call back at the end.
Okay.
Well, one, Harry meets up back with his father, and he's like, "I want to do some woodwork,
Right.
Do you ever heard of Bob Vila? And he's like, yeah, sure, you could do it as long as you got to finish your calculus and then you can do your bullshit fucking woodwork. And then the little girl earlier, the little redhead girl, had made Picard give her a hug.
Right. It's a good character moment for Picard because he starts off the series I hate children. Doesn't explicitly say I hate children, but he says children make me uncomfortable.
And
then now he's like,
and we actually see
he has to comfort a child.
And Radu also says to him, it's like, well, I'm terrible with kids. And then
and Picard gives him like a look like, yeah, same here.
Yeah.
Only that at least the little kid likes him.
Yeah.
And then so they're like, Picard's like, I hate fucking kids and I hate dongles. And
dirty dongles.
Yeah. Coming over here, eating all our pineapples, sleeping with all our women.
Eating all our pineapples. I'm not even sure.
And our al pastor.
Yeah, dude. I don't know what these dongles are doing, dude. Anyway, so
jacking into all of our ports.
I know, dude. And then this.
What the hell are we talking about?
The scene. Okay, I'm replaying the episode. The scene where the dad tells the kid where you can do calculus, you can become a carver if you do calculus.
Yeah.
He goes, "Go ahead, sport," and then he like slaps him in the face.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah, it's supposed to look like a good old sport like type of like tap to the face. But it looks like he's like lightly slapping him as he goes back into the classroom.
He's like, get back in there, you fucking piece of shit.
Get back in there, learn fucking calculus. Yeah. I'm an oceanographer.
Yeah, you're gonna be an oceanographer.
I want you to follow my footsteps, God. This wood carving shit is just a phase.
Yeah,
you're gonna learn about dolphins the same way I fucking did.
If you want to carve something, carve up a fucking boat. Because you're gonna end up in the fucking ocean, you bitch. And then the little girl's like, "Hey, Picard, can I give you a thank you for saving?" And she gives him fucking flowers, and he's like, "Oh, I don't know how to hug. I've forgotten how to hug people." Mm-hmm. And Picard hugs her and takes the flowers, and he doesn't know what to do with them because he's fucking weird.
And he also has a toy Tribble stuck to his ass.
Yeah.
Everyone just starts laughing at him.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh my god, Picard's an idiot." And what's funny is that, I mean, Wesley's probably his kid, right? I mean, you hate something that you are. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just putting it out there. Just trying to feel some spoilers. All right.
Just put the feelers out there. Set the table for yourself.
Yeah.
See what happens.
It's definitely his dad. Or he fucked over fucking Wesley's dad is my real theory. Is that like, it's like that Johnny Cash song where he's like, "Hey, I can't confess where I was that night. Because I was fucking Wesley Crusher. I mean, Wesley Crusher's mom." Freudian slip.
Yeah. He's not the Traveler.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's a song the Traveler sings while he's reminiscing about his adventures.
And he's fucking
so glad I remember that character name.
He fucked Beverly Crusher as stupid fucking Wesley's dad was dying in battle or something, you know. Those are the two theories I got going on.
All right. Oh, well.
And I'm gonna remind everyone that I actually don't know the ultimate results of either of those theories. So like now I'm on the edge of my seat.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope it's the latter. And so anyway, this episode was fine. Of course there's always problems with all these, you know. But
they're getting less stupid.
Yes.
It's not like this is a decent script.
Yeah.
Like, in all honesty, like I alluded to before, like the character of Wesley, I feel like is used correctly.
Sure.
Like he is smarter than average, but he's not like the solution to everything. He's just part of the solution. And it's weird that the solution that he came up with while on the planet is a hunger strike. Yeah. I feel like he should have done something more cunning,
or more Wesley-ish.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like because it's clear that he's good with tech, so maybe he could have maybe he learned something about their society from the custodian and thus blows their minds or something.
Yeah, or he could have cured their illness. He could have cured. He'd been like,
or he figures out because it would have been actually a good callback with his mom because his mom's a doctor and they did the scan thing tag team together, right?
Yeah.
So what if he also had some of the data and he like did some research of his own and he's like, Mom, I think they have like an ozone layer problem here. I've heard about that happening on Earth, right?
And he does
doctoring the script right now.
Yeah, you know how Wesley likes to tamper with shit? Like he's tampering with the fucking the teleporter room and all that shit.
Yeah, he made his own like what is it? Tractor beam. Yeah.
He could have been like, oh my god, I figured it out. Like if you just change this button and this thing in this equation, like it fixes it. And then they're like, oh my god, Wesley Crusher, you are our savior.
Why and then he could have slept like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm
just going.
I've gone crazy. I've gotten mad.
Sometimes we just let Ricardo go and see what happens.
Yeah. So look, they fix their ozone layer. They fix the Albanians' ozone layer.
It's still so stupid that it's just the ozone.
I know.
But now, like Raula is the only young, fertile woman, right? Like she's like
no, she's the youngest.
She's
okay.
So everyone else is super old. So they may have an issue just because they're too old.
Yeah,
we might have that problem.
They might say, "Hey, how about you leave with some of your women?" If you know what I mean.
Also, if they're so okay, here's the thing. Also, there's one kind of an issue with the plot where it's like, okay, you're an extremely secretive society, blah blah blah, right?
Yep.
You learn you suddenly can't procreate anymore.
Yep.
Like if that happened to us, I don't think our solution would be to start kidnapping other alien species.
We don't know
to become our children.
We don't know that.
I feel like we would be like, hey, let's either figure out why we're sterile, or hey, let's just start cloning ourselves.
Yeah, but remember, we put kids in cages, so there's no telling what we'll do.
Yeah, they do have a.
Oh no! I'm not laughing because there's kids.
I mean, you have to laugh because it's so absurd that we would be like, we would never do this thing like this. We were not pieces of shit.
You're right.
No, we're worse. We're worse pieces of shit. We just imprison kids.
Hey, don't worry. Every time that this show references like, a late 20th century, early 21st century barbarism,
they're talking about us.
That's us. Don't worry.
Yeah.
We know.
Yeah.
We know. It's us.
Yeah. But basically, you know what? This would have been a great episode. I'm going to give my rating and then how I would have rewritten it. I'll doctor it. So I like this episode. I'm going to give it a 7.5. As well, because I want if I hear what I'm hearing is correct, which is the future seasons are really good. I want somewhere to go to. So 7.5 for this episode. What I would have changed in this episode is make it more like Temple of Doom, where they're like they show up and they're like to nearby planet. They're like, oh, our kids are getting kidnapped, but we can't figure it out. And then they're like, oh, this other planet's kidnapping them.
Oh, and then they find out why they're being kidnapped.
And they gotta eat snakes and shit and fucking bugs. Fucking monkey brains.
They have to eat racist foods. Yeah. Temple of Doom.
Yeah, dude.
George Lucas admitted that the movie is super dark because he was going through a divorce. So it was just like, I want everyone to die. I want people to be lit on fire.
Did I tell you
that woman is a shrill, horrible person?
It's my kid's birthday on Friday.
Oh yeah,
and he's obsessed with a lot of things. He's obsessed with a lot of movies that Predator is one of them. That was like the Christmas thing where he was like, I just want Predator or Lego set, and I'm like, fuck, they don't make a Predator Lego set. So I had to like order something on eBay. But now like his whole rotation is like Predator, Pirates of the Caribbean. He's obsessed with, and he's obsessed with Indiana Jones.
Okay.
And he's like, yeah, I want one of those Indiana Jones sets. And like now there's no current movie, so like all the sets are old and now they're valuable. So it's like,
yeah,
great, dude. And he's like, hey, what do you want in your cake? Indiana Jones. Fuck, dude. We're gonna tell Cake Lady, hey, can you fucking draw a fucking Indiana like?
They don't make the Indiana Jones little plastic things anymore.
So maybe you can regale him with your refrigerator adventure.
Yeah, just put a fridge on it, and he'll understand.
Yeah. He's like, you're like, this is the Crystal Skull one. Don't worry about it. Put a Predator on top of it.
Yeah, put a Crystal. Get him. Okay, get that Crystal Skull vodka.
Yeah, from Dan Aykroyd. By Dan Aykroyd vodka.
Drink it.
Yeah.
Win-win.
I get it.
Oh yeah, that is Dan Aykroyd's vodka. Yeah. I always forget that. Yeah.
But anyway, that reminded me of us talking about Temple of Doom, because he loves Temple of Doom.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, let's put on the one where the guy's heart gets ripped out.
Like, oh, that is a pretty memorable scene.
Don't say that in school, dude, or I'm gonna get in trouble. But yeah,
what's the thing he said in school where
about predators?
Yeah,
I forget why it was brought up, but he was talking about predators, and he's like, oh yeah, they disappear, they get camouflaged, but if they bleed, you can kill them.
Yeah,
right.
And I'm like, no, be quiet. You don't know what
like
you're talking
better
about.
that than boasting about being a sexual Tyrannosaurus.
That's true. That's true. That's the better takeaway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, look, if you can tell me that they're bleeding, then we can kill them.
I mean, that's just life advice.
Yeah, that's great. It's great life advice. But what is your guys' rating?
I think I would give it like an 8 as well. That is from what I gave the other episode last time.
Ocho.
Because it's like it's a solid episode. There's no like there's nothing substantively really super wrong with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have fun nitpicking here and there, but like substantively it's a fine episode. And I think structurally, in terms of like the way they progress the plot, they raising the stakes, here are 2 possible solutions, while in the meantime Picard like everyone in the crew gets something to do directly to help with the issue. Wesley is involved, but not in a way that's obnoxious. Like he's actually, playing the role of the older child. Like it works,
Yeah.
So I think it's fine. It's just overall it's not like there's some episodes of Star Trek where you're like, that's a really good episode. Wow. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then that doesn't really inspire that, but you go, that's a solid episode. It's fine. I'm not mad at it,
Yeah. Before we go on with the ratings, I do want to say something about the people who are still listening at this point. About like, because sometimes we're harsh on this, and I know, well, not we are. I'm sometimes really harsh with these episodes, but I'm thinking about it. I was really having a long, like, almost conversation with myself about these ratings and like the way I go about talking about these shows. But and then I started looking at like my fandoms that I like and stuff like that, and I realized that like when it comes down to it, I am a bigger fan of cinema, or the art of filmmaking, or directing TV, or whatever it is, whatever art form it is that the filmmaking takes its shape. I'm a bigger fan of that than I am a fan of, like, I'm a fan of Star Wars, but I'm more a fan of the way the fact that it's cinema. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The cinema part of it, as opposed to like, all this like myth and stuff. And I feel like that's how I'm judging this. It's like, well, when I'm also taking into consideration, like, yeah, I get it. Like this, I didn't see it when it was made in 88, 87, right? So it's like,
right.
I understand that, and I understand like that people religiously love this show, and I get it.
Also, don't worry about it. Even back then, people were like, damn, that makeup looks bad.
Yeah.
But nobody was saying, this is amazing.
Yeah. And then there are other people who are like, this is nothing like the show that I know and love.
Yeah.
The one with William Shatner. This is a bullshit show.
That's legitimately what happened for the first season. People were actually like, this show's bullshit.
Yeah.
Like compared to TOS.
Yeah. And so that's what I wanted to say when it comes to like my harsh talk about.
But that's also partly why like we asked you to be the third person on the podcast, is that I think Dan and I also come from filmmaking backgrounds, so like we see that viewpoint as well. But at least for myself, I am really entrenched in like, not like I'm a huge fan, but I like the world of Star Trek so much that like and all the bullshit that comes with it, that I'm willing to be like, that's stupid, but that's whatever,
Yeah. That's how I feel about a lot of the fandoms, where they're like, whether it's like Star Wars and stuff or something, where they're like, oh, they're gonna do this or they're gonna do this. It's like, yeah, I could take it or leave it, you know? Like, it's cool. Like, it's cool that there's some cool stuff, and some people are really upset at certain movies, and I'm like, at least they tried something different or like interesting, and at least people are like, I get it. They're rehashing a lot of shit. Get that part. But at the same point, like, in when you look at it in like a storyteller point of view, like, you're like, at least, you know, you're trying something different or going in different directions. And
the Star Trek fandom reminds me a lot of the Lord of the Rings fandom, your favorite fandom, because like they're both very entrenched in like the world building and like the detail of the world, but like it'll go insane. Like the Silmarillion's insane with how much detail there is for world building and like histories of all these ages and shit of things that'll never touch the story of Lord of the Rings. And then, and same for Star Trek. There's like all these technical manuals and shit of where turbo lifts are.
They have like fake Tom's guides to Enterprises.
Yeah. And it's just like, this is interesting, you know, like, do you know like those, not Encarta, but those books that are like blow up diagrams of like ships and stuff, like they do like cutaways,
yeah,
and then you see them like they've had dozens of those for Star Trek where they just made that shit up, because people who worked on the show, they hired like actual like technical people who are technically minded and whatnot, and they wrote and designed all of this to be like, that's how it would go. The
people still shit in bathrooms in this world.
There are bathrooms. Okay, it turns out there are bathrooms. You just never see them in the show because no one talks about pooping.
You think
they call them Turbo Johns?
Yeah. you think
blast it out your ass?
Well, they probably like just suck it out of your butthole. Probably.
That's okay. That's not that dissimilar from how it works on like the space shuttle and stuff.
Yeah,
they actually,
There
is like a slight vacuum, and the thing spins so that the poo sticks to the sides, and that's how that works.
You know what they should do is figure out like we're gonna isolate the poop particles, and when they're close to your anus, we're gonna just vaporize them. You know, so
that's what I always thought until I looked it up. I thought Star Trek worked by transporting poop just out of your ass.
Yeah.
But I guess that's not.
Wait, was that discussion already another episode?
Yeah. That's why after that episode, I looked it up.
Okay.
And I was like, no, there are definitely toilets in this world and bathrooms.
Yeah,
it's just never talked about.
Are there whorehouses in this world?
Because there's whore planets.
Okay, because remember in like that's true. Well, remember in like Firefly?
Yeah, Firefly.
The girl was she was like I forget what she was called, like a
but she like in that world,
companion or something.
In that world, she's also like an ambassador kind of at the same time.
Well, like hookers were like really high. Sex workers. I apologize to all the hookers of the world. Sex workers were really like they were it was considered like a noble profession in that. It was
like
world.
Super high status. It brought with them a lot of like privileges and whatnot. And,
there's some level of prestige.
Not in Star Trek.
Not in Star Trek. There's still whores. But
essentially.
Yeah. Okay. There's a lot of questions that we should gather, and then one day bring somebody who's like read everything on Star Trek, and then just kind of like ask them our stupid questions. Yeah,
we bring in like the Okudas, and they're like, "Hey, what's going on?"
Worf's dick. What does it look like?
There's two of them. First of all,
yeah.
They pull down the screen and they fire up the projector. It's like, which presentation do you want? Do you want the updated 2020 version?
Yeah.
Because in the Kelvin timeline, the dicks have like spines on them.
We've found out some new stuff about, wait, shit.
Vulcans. You're about to say Vulcans.
Yeah. Klingon physiology. Yeah. So it's God, this joke's over.
Dan, what's your rating? We never got it.
Yeah.
By the way.
I think I agree with Ricardo. 7.5 is pretty much where I'm at with it.
Okay.
Yeah. For much of the same reasons you guys have already gone over.
Okay. All right. Well, that was our discussion of When the Bow Breaks. It was interesting, to say the least. Next episode is Home Soil, which is another episode I also don't remember at all.
Huh.
I think what happened is when I was younger, I would just watch TNG on TV, and they would never show first season episodes of TNG on TV. And I think what happened is when I decided to actually watch it all, I would start with the first season, and then fall asleep towards the latter episodes. And then now I'm like, oh, that's why I can't quite remember these. I don't know what happened here.
Oh my God, Marvin.
But yeah, that Home Soil. That's the next episode. If you've been listening to Newbie Star Trek, if you've liked it, you can find more episodes at newbiestartrek.com. That's NEWBIE StarTrek.com, or you can just search for anywhere you listen to podcasts like Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean,
iHeartRadio.
Apparently, iHeartRadio. Yeah, exactly. Wherever you want.
Wherever fine podcasts are sold.
Yes.
TikTok.
And if you didn't pay money for this,
TikTok us.
We got to talk.
Yeah. Hey, guys. Again, if you like your weed, talk to Ease. They got you covered. 12 Days of Christmas came early, or on time, I guess, because it came during Christmas time. But if you're if you're like, hey, I like what you guys are doing, I've already rated you on iTunes. I've already left a comment. That's a good comment or bad. I don't give a shit. And you've already done that. And you're like, man, these guys are doing the Lord Bagul's work here. You can head over to Ease and tell them, hey, sponsor these guys, because they're already giving you free advertising. So
also we did promise that if they sponsor us, we would change the name of the podcast to Doobie Star Trek.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
There is that.
There's
have
that
power.
incentive. Yeah. 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 All it takes is a sponsorship from them. That's it. We didn't even say how much.
Man,
if they start sponsoring, it's Doobie Star Trek.
I'm waiting for the day they finally actually contact us and we're faced with the reality of having to change all of our shit.
And we're like, I don't know.
You're like, it's so much work.
Yeah. There's a lot of SEO to change.
Yeah. It's hard.
Yeah, but we'll do it. We'll figure it out.
I set it up. It took fucking forever to set up.
Then do we have to get the Doobie Statham domain too?
Oh God. Yes, you can also find the podcast at newbiestatham.com.
Yeah,
and that legitimately goes to the podcast.
You can find me on Twitter at Gossip Girl 69. No, that's not my handle. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, you can find the new at Newbie Star Trek and pretty much any social media as well.
Yeah.
Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram.
TikTok us, man. I don't know what that is, but TikTok us.
Yeah.
Please tick our talks.
Help Ricardo understand the TikTok by ticking your talk at him. We also have the Fugitive Frames Film Podcast, which is a podcast where we discuss
Jason Statham
films. Statham
actually will be discussed.
We're in the works is a plan to record a podcast about the selected work of one Jason Statham.
I thought you were going to choose a middle name.
I was, but I was like, I don't want to besmirch his actual middle name with my fake one. But we will be talking about him. Our next episode that's going to drop at the end of this month, January, will be a horror-centric episode with our friend Rick. We're talking about horror thrillers, and stay tuned for that. That'll probably be the last day of the month that'll drop, and we're going to be doing one on the last day. So it's like every 15 days we'll do one. Cool. Stay tuned for that. And hey, if you like video games, Marvin,
it's true. We have a YouTube channel called Fugitive Games.
Yeah, it's big surprise. Spoiler alert.
We're LPing games. We're also streaming games. I think the way we were gonna probably do it is that, like, if the game is paced weirdly, we'll stream it. If it's paced well, we'll LP it. And also sometimes we'll have just quick plays of whatever we want to play, because we're just like, let's just check this out. We haven't seen this before. Yeah, let's check this game out. And we're like, this is fun. And I'm trying to find time to do more of the scripted stuff I'd started on. It's just taking a little while because, life and America's on fire.
And
there's a lot of things going on.
Needing money sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, if Ease sponsored us, we could maybe afford to take a day off or two during work days and do more of the shit. But Ease, that sweet, sweet taste of ease goes down smooth.
So you can find the Fugitive Frames Film Podcast at www.fugitiveframes.com. And if you want to find Fugitive Games, the YouTube channel, you can find that at www.fugitive.games, or you can just search for Fugitive Games on YouTube.
Hitting yourself, dude.
Well, the only reason is because when I have said fugitive.games, I think a lot of people had not realized .games is like a com. So they're like fugitive.games, like that's the name. .com. You know,
fugitive.
So that's why I just emphasize with the www.
Then why'd you make a clever URL, Marvin?
No, dude. Here, we should just change everything to JasonStathamGames.com, and then that'll lead in. It's just Statham so much easier.
Games. Yeah, Statham Games.
The transporter, the game.
I'm pretty sure there is a transporter.
I'm sure there's a transporter. Yeah, I'm sure there is. There's got to be.
Yeah,
they made Driver, like, Driver is just a series. There's Fast and Furious games, right? So there's got to be a transport.
Yeah, it's a shit game.
Well, thanks for being with us, everybody. Next week we're gonna do When the Bow Breaks. Oh no, that's what we just did now. Next week we're gonna. God,
you're already using these as a service.
I'm falling apart. Next week we're gonna do Home Soil. I don't know what that is.
And
it's about terraforming.
We're gonna try to keep
these.
Is it? Okay. And we should say we're sorry these episodes are running long. We were a tight 1 hour, and then we started talking about fucking Albanians and electrolytes, and now we're at 140.
I kept on wanting to call the planet Lou Albano.
They had Lou Gehrig's disease in the last episode. But anyway,
do the Mario, everybody.
We're gonna try our hardest to keep the running time lower. We know your time is precious and time is money, but hey, relax, chill the fuck out.
We'll see you guys next time. Stay safe.
Hey, keep them dry.
All of them, no exceptions.
I don't know what that means. Where are we talking
Stop
about?
Recording, dude. I'm gonna dig myself deeper.